Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined today by the lovely Rochelle from the Dollshouse. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, good. Looking forward to people like yourself opening again, so I don't have to cut my hair myself.
You've not done a bad job. Has
Well,
Danielle not wanted to try?
no, Daniela's not wanted to try. Well, she did help me on the first go, but let's just say that was it. I've just carried on myself since. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't look bad. Honestly, it doesn't look bad. You've done a good job.
I need to learn to start fading here and not here, so then it actually does give me a bit more. But
Yeah, that's
yeah.
very different. Yeah. My husband still only let me do it once, and we've been together 7 years. So I'm actually thankful for the lockdown because it gave me a chance to get my hands on his head.
Oh no! So how's things in the world of hair anyway?
Yeah, so I mean, we're in a horrible situation just like everybody else. And I've had my down days, I've had my good days. I've always tried to maintain and remain positive because for me, I just kind of look at everything and try and look at everything on the good side and just say, you know, it's a blessing. We still have our health. I'm with my family. My parents are actually with us as well. They're self-isolating with us because they were completing on a house just before lockdown happened. They have actually completed on it now, but they're not able to go out and decorate it, buy bits and bobs, because they obviously don't see it as essential. So they are still staying with us. I also don't think that they would be able to, that's my phone, put it on silent. I actually don't think that they would be able to miss that time with their grandkids either. And it's been nice because it's a different face for us to see. We are seeing them at dinner times. We're doing loads. We're playing like poker and pool table, and we're doing badminton. Yeah, like we're literally utilising the time off. So it's nice because we've been doing like come dine with me and just little different things. So it's nice that there's two other adults there to interact with and help us with the kids.
Yeah, I bet my mum would love that. My mum keeps saying if she knew what was happening, she would have moved herself into mine, I think, before.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think we all realised actually how long it would be.
No.
I started doing a song challenge, a 30-day song challenge on Instagram, and it's finished. And I was like, whoa, 30 days went like that.
I know.
And I mean, I've actually honestly found it quite good. Like I've actually really enjoyed the time off. No other time would I get, 6 weeks off with my kids, and be kind of making a bit of money, i.e. the grants, and not have any pressure. Like I found it very peaceful. As you know, as a business owner, it's constantly, everything's on your shoulders. Something breaks down in your business, you have to sort it out. Someone replies to a message, you have to get back to them. Like I obviously do have staff that do these jobs, but at the same time, they'll come to me and be like, oh, is it okay if I say this, or can I post this? And you just feel so much pressure to get clients in on those seats. If ever you're a bit quiet, you put an offer out. Like I've honestly just felt really peaceful, and I've taken the time as best I can. Things like exercise, I've never really found the time to do. And even maternity leave, like I've always had 6 weeks with my children as babies, and that's it. So even my husband, he's only ever had a week. So for us, we're both able to take that time without worrying too much. Our mortgage is on our holiday payment. Our car's on a car payment, our credit cards are on a credit card holiday. So it is in an essence quite peaceful in that sense, because we're only literally just spending shopping money, which is a lot, by the way. Have they risen prices or what? But that's really our only outgoing at this point. I'm not shopping, I'm not going for meals, I'm going back to basics with cooking, and that in a sense is saving me a bit of money. So I am actually really enjoying the time, and I'm a bit worried about the transition of going back into the real world. Like, how will I adapt and cope? Do you feel like you've been really tired and kind of going to bed a bit later? And
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think you've hit the nail on the head, to be honest. And I think that's exactly what I've been saying to everyone else as well, is that I never ever switch off. Even when we're on holiday for 2 weeks, I'm constantly, the first thing I do when I wake up is I go to my emails. I check my emails. I check, make sure everything's all right. All the staff are all right. Everything's okay. And any clients, if they need anything, we can still react to it. So I'm constantly working even when I'm off. And at the moment,
this is a break when your business is not 9 to 5. It's when you open your eyes, you close your eyes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You wake up at 3 a.m. and go, oh, just quickly reply to that email.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But you're right. I've enjoyed some time with Daniela and Taylor, actually, just kind of doing bits and pieces and just kind of doing bits around the house and bits and pieces like that. But also it's given me a chance to speak to a lot of our clients that normally I'd speak to them very quickly, just, yeah, I'll sort that out and put the phone down. Where actually it's now, how are you? How's things
Yeah.
going? You okay? Do you need
And
anything?
it's genuine, isn't it? Like, I
Yeah,
genuinely have realised how many people I've missed, and how many people I've become closer with within the industry. You know, beauty is a really terrible, bitchy industry. Like, we
yeah,
can't deny it. It's awful. It's terrible. And I've always tried to steer clear of that, and always just had my arms open for anyone. And even in the lead up, people were coming to me like, "Hey, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to close? How are you going to play this? Or have you got your grant? Like, here's the link." And everyone's just really reached out, and it's been lovely. People that I kind of knew of as salon owners, they've been reaching out, we've been in contact, and it's just been nice to be quite positive shoulder for them virtually to cry on.
yeah,
And yeah, that's the nice thing about it. It's just finding out, oh, I didn't know that that's where you lived, or, you know, congratulations, you know, people having weddings and stuff. So I think that's nice as well, because it has brought everyone together. I just love that whole community feel. Like, you've obviously moved to a village as well, haven't you?
yeah.
And that clap for the NHS, it's just electric. It like
Yeah.
leaves me with goosebumps, and I get a bit welled up thinking how many people are just like neighbours that I've never seen, and I've never probably introduced myself because they're a bit further over the road, but you're waving like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And it's just that whole like community feel that we're currently going through at the minute.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think it'll be a better world when we come out the other side, to be honest. I think
Well, I
everyone's
hope
going to be
so.
a
I
bit more
hope we
courteous to each
remember.
other. People have a bit more time for each other, and there'll be less pressure, I think, for like the whole rigmarole of the rat race we had before. Everyone's like, now. And I'm very much like that. If I want something done, I want it done now. But
Same.
actually, I've had to take a step back now and think,
Yeah,
everyone can't just do it now. It's as and when it can be, done. And
exactly.
actually, it's kind of made me sympathise with other people's aspects on things a lot more. And actually, do you know what? We have all got a bit more time just to kind of sit back and go, do you know what? It's getting done properly. Let's just push
Yeah,
it forward and take a bit more time and be a bit more kind of understanding of other people's situations, I think, is
yeah,
probably the
absolutely.
best way.
It was hard in the beginning. I think I cried the first day I had to sit there and decide that I was going to post up something on social media to say that we had closed. And I had a wobble probably 2-3 days afterwards. And then I was like, no, pull yourself together. You know, the weather's been a blessing too. I can't
Yeah.
fault the weather. Like, when do we get this kind of glorious weather in March and April? And that's obviously been quite a positive factor as well. So it's been good for the kids, getting them out. I just felt like I had to just do something and pull myself together. So I put a bit of makeup on that day. I did like a tutorial. I filmed something for our clients to see and watch, something that our most requested video. And that's doing really well. But it is hard because they say, you know, work from home if you're able. Like, obviously we're not able to. And I'm very precious with the hair industry. I think that only professionals should be doing it and removing extensions and things like that. And you're having to tell people, because you want to keep them safe, hey, like, this is how to remove your extensions, when it's actually the advice that we go against all the time. Like, don't remove them from home, because they don't know what they're looking for. They could have, you know, a contraindication that they're not aware of and be removing it and actually don't need to snip a bit of hair. Like, we've seen it before. So it is hard because you're just kind of turning everything on its head. And that's one thing where people are like, well, can't you make money this way? And actually, no, like, when we're furloughed, we aren't able to make money. So everything we're doing is, you know, a non-profit at this point. We are giving you advice and selling you how to do it, and saying, you know, take this knowledge and use it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're not, because I've seen as well, quite a lot of people have been posting things like they've been buying packet dyes off the shelves and things, or they've got a hairdresser that's delivered them a pre-mixed kind of whatever
Formula.
it is,
Yeah.
for them. What's your thoughts on that? Just people trying to self-care at home or trying to dye their roots at home and things? And
I've tried to drum into my clients, please don't, whatever you do, get a box dye. Like, box dyes are full of rubbish. Like, some of them are actually probably like 0.01% far off of being a carpet dye. Like, they're that bad and terrible for your hair. Like, when I could get technical, but basically, when you have hair dyes and colorants, the molecules are tiny little balls of product and formula, and a box dye is about this big under a microscope, and then under a microscope ours is probably about the size of a thumbnail or a fingernail. So you can imagine how hard that would be to remove. So when someone does that and then they want to go lighter, or it's gone a bit dark, which is always the case with hair dyes, they say it's a chocolate brown and it turns out jet black, we would then have to charge you for a color correction, which is triple the price of normal color, because we're having to remove a big solid ball of rubbish out of your hair. So it affects your hair shaft, you know, cuticles can swell. It's just not great to use. And we're just saying, look, there's things like root sprays that you can get. They last until you next wash your hair. I don't personally feel like, you know, I've been in this industry for 15 years and I've spent 2 to 3 years qualifying in this trade. I don't feel as though I can measure up and tell you exactly what you need, because I haven't physically seen your hair. Every time a client comes in, they might have been in the sun. So the formula that I will apply to their hair is going to be slightly different. They may have been, obviously, you know, we've had good weather, they may have slightly longer roots, so actually I might need to go in and pre-pigment that hair slightly before I recolor the hair and do a pre-color. I don't know that if I'm going to be mixing that formula up and giving it to you. I'm also expecting you to mix up the right ratios. I could mix up the right ratio, but what if it's not enough? Or what if you mix it up together and you don't leave it on for enough time so it's not oxidized enough? You know, you're not using gloves, PPE, things like this. So it's just one of those things that I just think, let your hair breathe. You might have a few greys. Your husband is still going to love you regardless. I mean, my husband's seen me walking around terrible. Like, I've got greys. So if I'm not getting my hair coloured, then no one has to. Like, I haven't got hair extensions in. I've got clip-ins in today that I just had at home, and they don't even match my extensions. But I'm just like, you know what? Let yourself breathe. Like, my skin's been breathing. I've had no lashes, no lash extensions. And it's nice. Like, I've been using serums on my skin and my hair just to like enjoy that break. And we will, as soon as we can work extra shifts to get everybody sorted, work till super late at night just to get everybody ready to face the world again. We're not gonna go home.
Raring to go, aren't you? And I can imagine your book will be off the chart with people just
Already
to get in.
Yeah, it's mental. Like, we've tried to do a waiting list, but that just worked out too hard. So we've kind of gone online and said, look, book your appointment and we'll keep you in order of booking. So week by week, we'll just move everybody up as soon as we reopen. But again, with the whole home hair dyes, like, that would mean that I'm making and generating an income for the business. And as I have had to furlough, I can't do that. So I also don't feel like I would be doing social distancing if I was coming in and mixing up colours and then hand delivering it to people. It's not essential travel. And imagine I crashed into somebody or ran out of petrol. I'm still going into a shop, and it's still, to me, I just don't personally feel as though it's doing the right thing. Handling that as well. You know, it can live on this hard surfaces for up to 72 hours. So yeah, I just something that I've stayed away from. I just don't think it's a responsible thing to do as a salon owner.
No, I think it's the right thing to do. Definitely. It's I mean, we're the same. Our predominantly, when we value houses, we go into people's houses and we shake hands with people and we talk to them and have a cup of tea and whatever. And we can't do any of that. We can do stuff like remotely, where we've done a few remote valuations now and things like that. But you know, we don't charge them, so we're not earning from that as such. So it's the same thing with yourself. It's, you know, you can only kind of advise at the moment, and that's what it is. You're just advising people what you can do, and it's a difficult one, isn't it? It is hard, but you've got to do what's right to get back to that normality.
And I think the main thing is, you'll probably find with your industry, like, we know for sure people are so desperate for their hair or an extension to be back in, and at the same time, people have been in their home for 6 weeks, and in their head they're thinking, I need a bigger house, or I need a utility room, or I need this or that. And you know, there are still people that are in a position where they are getting 100% pay. So they will turn around and be like, I'm putting my house on the market, I want to move. And these are the type of things that they're going to be thinking about in the back of their head. So hopefully our businesses will flourish.
Yeah, I think they will, to be honest. We've got, at the moment, we've got lots of people contacting us and ringing us and bits and pieces saying that exactly that. They're looking to move house as soon as they can after this is all done and said and finished with, because quite honestly, they've been stuck at home now for 6 weeks, and they've realised that the house is too big or too small or too far away from family to be able to drop off shopping if they're vulnerable and they can't get out themselves, or, you know, there's a million scenarios. And I think it's very similar to, for me, January is phenomenal. It's always been phenomenal because of the Christmas break. People spend 10 days at home with the family and they go beside themselves and they think the house is too small, it's too big, it's, you know, whatever reasons they are. You imagine what it's going to be like after 2 months of those people being stuck indoors. And the bad thing with Christmas is everyone overspends on stuff, constantly spending. And right now,
they've got all this expendable cash now.
Everyone's sitting at home. They're not going out for meals and stuff. I mean, we've been out for meals and things, and, you know, going out to London once a month or twice a month just to go out for meals or celebrate birthdays, things like that, and or just doing trips here and there and what have you. And I think we know all the Amazon delivery drivers now by first name because of Daniela. But like, apart from that, what are people spending their time, money on, apart from doing up the houses or garden and things like that? And we've had so many people contact us to say, I'm doing DIY at the minute, I'm getting a house ready, when's good for you to come and take pictures? It's like brilliant. Exactly. Like a list full of names and numbers of people to call, ready to go around and get the houses on the market. So I think everyone's saying like there's going to be a recession and things like that. I don't think there will be, because the government have already stepped in and said, do you know what, guys, you can't work, but we're going to pay you. We're going to help you as much as we can to avoid that recession happening. So I think that genuinely it's just like frozen. Everything's just stopped. And one day they're going to say, go.
Yeah, do you know what? Let's take that time. I read something that said, if you don't come out of this lockdown having learned something new, then you lack discipline because you don't lack time. And it's so true, because we've been, you know, we've started and launched an academy just before the lockdown happened. I was due to be in Scotland, in Liverpool, Manchester, doing this training live physically with students, and we've taken it online. So we did a filming with a doll's head, put it online, and so many hairdressers are literally like, I just want to learn, and now they're doing our online training. So it's going to be good to come out at the end of it. DIY things, you know, I moved into my house 6 months ago. I've been doing so much DIY. A bit TikTok famous as well now, like put a few videos on TikTok and they're getting like 70k views. I don't understand it, I'm way too old for that, but yeah, like it's been good to have that time. So yeah, I just hope that we do flourish afterwards. I'd hate to see any kind of small business not succeed, but at this point I feel really positive. I feel like everybody is going to make it and everybody's on the right paths. And, you know, we're thankful because there's governments in other countries that aren't helping them to the extent that ours is. So we've just got to, you know, sit back and wait and hope. Because what I'm really scared of is reopening and there's going to be more casualties than before because it's not been effective. And that's why I'm doing my bit. I'm trying personally to just stay at home.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I think you're right. I think if everyone does what they're saying, I mean, that's how serious it is. The government are paying you to stay at home. If it wasn't that serious, they wouldn't be paying you to stay at home, would they? And that's what I keep saying to people. It's that serious. The government. When on earth could you ever imagine? Someone said to you 6 months ago, you're going to take 2 months off, and the government are going to pay you to stay at home. You'd think,
all right.
There's no way. There's no way that's going to happen. But here we are. You know, here we are. And the fact that some people aren't taking it seriously, it does. It does kind of make you question, like, what the hell's going on? Because you know, the sooner everyone does it, and the sooner we get through it. And you're right. What we don't want is for it to, you know, be another 3 weeks down the line. And then they say, right, everyone back to work, and then bang, we're on it again. And it's like, right, guys, another 2 months at home. Before you know it, next year.
Exactly.
It's like,
so how do you feel like as a business you will be implementing your transition back to work? Like, is there stuff that you guys could put in place?
Yeah, totally. I think we've got we're based down the road from you, so we've got the 3-story offices. We've got reception on the ground floor, and I think one of the first things I've said to the team so far is I'm not going to be opening the reception up straight away. We'll be having it by appointment only if anyone wants to come and see us. Where the desks are all laid out at the moment as well, I think we'll stagger it because we've got like 4 desks together spread around the top floor offices. We're going to probably stagger the staff so they sit in opposite corners only. So there's 2 meters. We've got loads and loads and loads of bottles. We had another delivery of these come through ready for the office. We actually ordered these about 6 weeks ago. And they just they arrived last week. So we've got loads of antibacterial washes and gloves and things ready for the office. Just so if anyone is having to hand keys over or do anything, I think at the moment, even if they say, you know, tomorrow, everyone go back to work, the reality is there's still a huge danger of someone still having, you know, or contaminating or what have you. And I think if we as business owners can look after the staff as best as possible to try and protect them, and if they don't have to go somewhere, don't do it. And valuations to start with, I think we'll always offer video valuation first if someone wants it. And again, it'll be on every viewing we're doing. At the moment, the empty houses we've got, we went out to all of them and basically did video walkthrough tours. So we've been concentrating on just getting all of the empty houses live on Rightmove and on our own YouTube page and what have you. So if anyone says, I want to see this house, we can send them a video where it's us physically walking in with the mobile kind of and walking around.
That's so good. I feel like it's definitely made us realise how much we can do online. You know, there is so many businesses that, you know, said, oh, actually, you can't work from home. But really, they could save and utilise that. And they'd probably actually see savings, you know, with office spaces and stuff like that. You know, remotely, you can still work from home, apart from, obviously, some industries. But we're the same.
Yeah, so I think
we have to do it anyway.
There'll be lots getting implemented from our end, definitely. So like these walkthrough tours will be happening for every house now. So if anyone wants to see it before we start wasting time taking people's houses and they go, oh, I didn't realise I only had that, they would have already seen that. So I think
that's saving the environment as well. You know, you're not putting petrol, you're not going out in cars. And if everybody followed suit, the earth would still continue to heal. So no, I think it's great. Well done. Well done to Taylor Walsh.
Thank you. I think there's a lot of companies that are doing the same. There's a lot of friends of mine that commute to London every day from Milton Keynes, and a lot of them have said already they're working from home and they're still being as productive as they were, and they've already spoke to their bosses, what have you, and the directors, what have you, and they've all kind of said, you know what, going forward, we're probably going to have 1 day a week in the office now, and we'll stagger it. So all these offices in London where they've got kind of like 150 desks in, they're actually going to bring them down to like 20 hot desking spaces, get rid of most of the unit space they've got, and they're going to let everyone work from home, and they'll stagger who's going to come in on what days and just kind of catch up.
It makes sense. Just like reintroduce everybody slowly, and then hopefully it won't be too bad. I had one of my neighbours, like we literally had a chat across the fence, and he said that he feels like he's more productive being at home because he's got that solid 8 till 6. He said normally he'll walk over, he'll have a chat with a colleague, he'll have a coffee. He's like, even my lunch break, he's like, it's over and done within 5 minutes because I'm, you know, at home. He's got nowhere to go, and he's like, and I'm not tired. He's like, the hour commute to work, the hour and a half on the way back home. He said, I was missing out, you know, 2 hours of my day that I wasn't seeing my kids. He says everything's just really stress-free. You know, there's no commute to the school runs, all of that. So it is quite nice. So we've just got to try and remain as positive as we can and just hope that it's over soon so that we can get back to normality.
Yeah, absolutely. I am missing the Taylor Walsh family, and I guess you guys are obviously going to be doing the same. All the,
What have you guys done? Have you guys had any Zoom calls just to like check in with everyone?
Yeah, we've had a few. I'll be honest, we started off originally doing one every day, and it slowly kind of got less and less and less. Where originally we were kind of picking up from bits and pieces that was going on, and at the moment we've not really got a lot going on. So there's only so much we can do. So we're trying to have a weekly kind of proper catch up, and we've got like a WhatsApp group for all of the teams. So we've got a few guys that are furloughed at the moment that solely just viewing experts, or they do inventories, check-ins, check-outs, things like that, and you know, they can be doing at the moment. So we've had a few of them furloughed. So again, on WhatsApp, we've just kind of put in the group, like, is everyone all right? Is everyone well? Just touching base with everyone really and doing what we can. But they're just keeping fit, spending time with their families, and the guys that are still working are still kind of just speak to the database, calling through their clients. Felicity's doing all the sales progression still. We still have some people that want to move house, which is we've got some vacant houses that people want to move to. They just struggled with getting like removals booked and things like that. But there were a few sales that went through last month. We had 2 go through this month so far, I think, or 3.
Oh, that's so good.
So ones that were already ready to go, but the new ones, all the latter ones now, they're all waiting for mortgage offers, and mortgage surveyors are working. You know, they're not able to go and visit houses, which is fair enough. So they're all kind of paused at the minute. We've had some, unfortunately.
At least it's something nice to look forward to, though, when it's all over. How nice
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be one or two ways. It'll be a case of everyone hit the button and say, right, bang, we're buying it. We're going now.
It's gonna crash.
Or mortgages have been pulled and people won't be able to get mortgages because they've been furloughed and it's their salaries and things. So I think we'll have to take the rough with the smooth, and we'll just have to work with everybody individually to work out how we can get them moving still to their dream home. And
That's the thing. Everything is continually changing. You might make a decision, and then literally the next day you're like, actually, that's not going to be able to go ahead now. We are just changing with the times, because it is really unprecedented times, and we don't know what's going to happen. Like, we have clients messaging, oh, hey, can I book in when you reopen? And we're like, we don't know when that is. And then looking at us like, oh, I booked in on the waiting list, so you're not open. No, of course we're not. Because I have heard that some salons are actually open, and that literally like I've heard, if I knew who they were, trust me, I would call them out, but I don't. So I've just heard that people have still been getting hair done and stuff, and it's really, really irresponsible, and it's frustrating because we are all in the same boat. I don't know why they think they're an exception, but yeah, like, people have tried to book in and gone, oh, I didn't realise it was a waiting list. Can I cancel that appointment? I thought I was actually meant to get my hair done. And like, we know as much as the government know, and as much as everybody else knows. As soon as the government tell us, oh yes, that's when we'll find out too. There's no secret little side chat where they're contacting us and saying, hey, you're a salon owner, this is when you're going to be able to reopen. We are literally sitting there watching the news like Love Island and waiting like everyone else is.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I've got a few friends that are barbers, and they're in exactly the same boat. They can't do anything, but there's a few other barbers that I know of, or a few friends, should I say, that have had barbers go to their houses and things, and said, oh, they've done it outside and they've worn PPE and stuff, and it's like,
it doesn't make a difference.
No,
yeah, that's not cool.
But in their eyes, it's like the same as everyone's going to B&Q or Tesco's or Morrison's and things. Like, how?
Yeah, I know. It's a hard one. Like, I personally feel as though we shouldn't be going out. Like, they should try and make sure that everyone is able to get, if they got delivery drivers going and doing, you know, all the checkout staff with a license for delivery driving. I know it's not going to be easy, but you know, you could say, right, use your car, put it in your boot, go around and deliver. That is a lot less of a spread than it is in supermarkets. Like, the supermarkets and the petrol stations are absolute breeding grounds at the minute for this virus. And I'm going in and I'm literally head to toe covering as much as I can. Because my dad is a real vulnerable and at-risk person. He's over 70. He has a serious heart condition. He takes tablets every day, so much so he's bloody rattling. And I have to protect him and my family. And I don't want to catch this disease and virus and bring it home to anybody. So I'm doing what I can. But people are in my space, and I'm like, can you get 2 meters away? Like, all shelter it. Like, it's just madness. It really is. But I suppose it does draw the line. So a barber can come round, be head to toe covered, and try and keep his distance. You know, what is right and wrong, but I just personally
I think I agree. I think you've just got to do what they say on the news at the moment and just obey by that. And
food is essential.
I mean, at the end of the day, I used to dye my hair grey for me years ago. Do you remember? And now it's just grey. Now it's just grey. But I mean, I'm desperate to go and get my hair done properly and stuff, and bits and pieces.
We all are.
But do you know what? I'd rather be alive and have a couple of grey hairs than head looking pretty. Do you know what I mean?
You just don't know who is carrying it, and that barber could be carrying it from house to house to house. And I just don't know if I would feel. I mean, we'd all feel terrible if we found out someone's nan had passed away, and we're never going to fully know who carried it around. They could have got it from anywhere, but at the same time, if I can put my hands up and say I've stayed home, then no one can turn around and say, oh, it could have been you. So exactly. I just wouldn't forgive myself.
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying Daniela, like, I'm not a worrier at all. I'm far from it, actually. But I've had pneumonia twice, and for me, it's exactly what they're saying is, you know, coronavirus is the way you breathe and stuff. It's horrendous, mate. And I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So that's why I keep saying, Daniela, like, if she says, oh, I forgot to buy this, I need to go to Tesco. So I'm like, you ain't going to Tesco's to go and get some bread or something. We can do without the bread. Do you know what I mean? So, so I think you're right. The more people could, well, look at the four words they're saying constantly: stay home, save lives.
Yeah, and stay safe. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but I feel like we're at a point now where people are starting to rebel because they feel as though they've done the right thing, and they're like, well, I've not gone out. I've been out of any reach of anybody, so now I can go and see my aunt because I know that she's not been around anybody else. But it's just those things. Like, you could have got in the car, gone and got some petrol, and touched that pump, and next thing you know, you're leaving that virus with your aunt. Like, it's just you're really ruling out the people that are willing to take that risk and willing not to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we're divided at this point, because some people are like, my friend lives in London, she's like, people are just doing like a bank holiday. She's like, I've never seen the streets so busy. People are going and walking around and just window shopping. I was like, window shopping in B&M, like window shopping in the range. It's not how it should be. But I suppose it's just hard, isn't it? As long as we're doing the right thing, we can safely say, we're putting these strategies in place so that when we can reopen, we can all reopen without that fear and without that risk of contaminating and catching the virus.
That's it. Positive influencing, mate. Positive influence.
Amen. Positivity.
Amen. So, what's your plans going forward then? What's the plans for the Dollshouse moving forward?
So we're just literally relaxing and recharging as much as we can, because we know it's going to be manic. The online videos have gone really well. And yeah, I'm planning on doing a bit of DIY in the salon, taking things down and changing things and adding things to it just to make it look great. I've ordered a few bits of equipment that were a bit dogged or stopped working, so that we're ready. And yeah, just getting everybody, so everyone's got masks ready to go. Obviously we always wear PPE anyway because of our industry, so we've got gloves and we've got aprons, we've got everywhere's, like before we locked down, we were literally super strict with it all anyway. Clients will still arrive, we will make them wash their hands, and then we will sanitize every area that they've touched and sanitize each station after each client's finished. We are actually behind the client normally, so there is kind of some distance, and keep the spacing between each of the stations. And just, yeah, we're just training at the minute online with each other, sending links saying, right guys, practice this, get good at this, don't forget your skills. And yeah, just remaining positive so that when we reopen, we're ready to go, and make our dolls feel happy and pretty again.
Nice. Well, I'm sure you can't wait to get back to normality the same as we can't, mate. But I really appreciate you coming on the old Taylor Walsh TV and having a chat.
Anytime. Thank you very much. I'm going to share it on ours as well. We've got our little YouTube video. So thank you very much for having us on today. Stay safe. Big love and kisses to all of you and your family.
And to you.
Hopefully I'll see you as a neighbour down the road again in a few short weeks.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice. So if anyone wants to see any of your online videos you're doing or anything, where's the best place for them to go and search now?
So our Instagram, we've got our IGTV, which is at the Dollshouse MK, and then our Facebook page is the Dollshouse Salon on Facebook.
Superb. Rochelle, thank you very much. Big love to you all, and we'll see you soon.
Anytime. Take care, Jamie. Bye.
Thanks, mate.
Bye.